Ukraine has a new enemy. This one is within the country. It's hidden to most eyes, but the army is fighting it every day. And chances are the citizens turned soldiers may have to live with it for the rest of their lives. I'm talking about combat stress. A psychological crisis has gripped Ukraine. The soldiers are not only fighting the Russian enemy, but they're also fighting trauma, PTSD, nightmares, anxiety and guilt. And there aren't going to be any winners. When Russia invaded Ukraine, Ukrainian President Zelensky demanded all hands on deck. Men aged 18 to 60 were called to serve the country, to fight a war that oligarchs had started. Those who were interested enlisted during the first 6 months of this war. But the mobilization drive did not stop. Almost every 3 months, President Zelensky demanded for more soldiers, more hands on deck. He asked for more citizens to turn into warriors. Once conscripted, these new soldiers would get a few weeks of training, and then they would be thrown on the front line. Just yesterday, these people were teachers, artists, poets, engineers. They were just like you and me, but today they have taken up arms. They're forced to take up arms. Just how many Ukrainians have been mobilized so far? Some reports estimate anywhere between 400,000 and 700,000. Earlier in the week, Kyiv's military intelligence chief said that there are 1.1 million people in the Ukrainian armed forces. He also warned that nobody can escape mobilization. And guess what? Now President Zelensky has announced that the army needs 500,000 more troops. 500,000. From where? How is Ukraine going to produce so many soldiers? Those enlisted are already suffering. How many Ukrainian soldiers have died? Depends whom you ask. Kyiv doesn't disclose any numbers. It treats its losses as a state secret. According to one report, which cites anonymous US officials, some 70,000 Ukrainian soldiers have died in the war. A Ukrainian civic group, however, has put the figure at 25,000. Those who died are gone, but those left behind are suffering in their own ways. They are grappling with exhaustion from war. And when they turn to rest, they are haunted by nightmares. Many have developed post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. There are amputees just learning to live with their injuries. If the conscripts are on the border, there is fear and anxiety. And if they are in rehab, there is guilt. This guilt is born out of camaraderie. The soldiers feel a sense of obligation to hurry back to units and fight alongside their brothers. You see, there is no winning. There is no way out. Listen to their plight yourself.
I
was told that I needed some rest, some medical treatment. I said that I was good and that they were making up things. I did not feel that way. But after the last mission, I started feeling that I could not bear it anymore. The shelling was especially difficult. I knew that I was on the brink of having a breakdown.
And it's not just the soldiers who are suffering. Just imagine what their families, their loved ones go through. There are children who are growing up without their fathers. There are mothers waiting for their sons and daughters. There are wives waiting patiently for their husbands. Here's one such wife who demands for her husband to return.
This is a photo of my husband, a recent one, taken in August. He left to fight at the beginning of the war. The last time he was on leave was in August. We haven't seen each other since then. It is very tough for them. They are exhausted. They do not need rotation. We are here to demand they are given proper rest. What we need is demobilization.
While some willingly took up arms, others have been evading draft. They don't want to go to war. Some have spent weeks or months hiding from mobilization officers. Many have bought fake medical reports to be exempted. Others fled the country while they could. Listen to one such man.
I wouldn't call myself a physically or mentally weak person. But if I go back to Ukraine, they're just going to send me to a hotspot. I don't know how to do anything. They're literally not going to prepare me and they're just going to kill me. And what's that going to do? It will be hard for my sick mother, for others, for my girlfriend, for my friends. If I didn't have a family, of course, I wouldn't have left. Why would I?
While some were able to escape conscription, others are being forced into it. Recruiting officers are becoming increasingly aggressive. They want to replenish the ranks no matter what it takes. There have been instances when they have pulled men off the streets and whisked them to recruiting centers. They have used intimidation, physical force, even confiscated passports, snatched people from their jobs, and in at least one particular case tried to send a mentally disabled person to military training. That's what reports say. These tactics aren't only aimed at draft dodgers. They're also targeting men who would ordinarily be exempt from service. The aggressive methods go well beyond the scope of recruiters' authority, and in some cases it is illegal. Recruiters are not empowered to detain civilians, let alone force them into conscription. Men who receive draft notices are supposed to report to recruitment officers, not the other way around. Amid this chaos and brutality, what is Zelensky's latest announcement going to do? 500,000 more conscripts. That's what he wants. From what it seems, it's only going to feed into the aggression. His own spy chief has admitted that forced conscriptions have failed on the front line. So what is the use anyway? WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.